Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is an historic faith with a progressive theology grounded in love. A love which calls us to see the holy in every being and to take compassionate action in our world. In this space, we gather with open minds, open hearts, and open hands to practice acceptance, forgiveness, and growth, welcoming people from all nations, all creeds, all ages, all genders, all cultures, and all kinds of love. Whether you're here every week, came today for the first time, or just stop in once in a while, we celebrate all of who you are and all you are becoming. You are welcome here. I will read a poem today before the chalice lighting called You Belong to the World. You belong to the world, as do your children, as does your husband. It's strange even now to understand that you are a mother and a wife, that these gifts were given to you and you received them, fond as you've always been of declining invitations. You belong to the world. The hands that put a peach tree into the earth exactly where the last one died in the freeze belong to the world and will someday feed it again, differently. Your body will become food again for something, just as it did humorously when your baby was clamoring at your breast, born as they'd been with the bodily passion for survival that is our kind's one common feature. You belong to the world, animal. Deal with it. Even as the great abstractions come to take you away, the regrets, the distractions, you can, at any second, come back to the world to which you belong. The world you never left, will never leave. Each cell forever going through their changes, as they have been since you were less than anything. Simple information born inside your own mother's newborn body, itself made from the stuff your grandmother carried within hers, when, at 12, she packed her belongings and left the Scottish island she'd known, all she'd ever known, on a ship bound for Ellis Island. Carrying within her, your mother, you, the great human future that dwells now inside the bodies of your children, the young who, like you, belong to the world.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to, do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. You will see, and in your mind, there's a world of endless fascination. No more fun place to be than in your imagination. You can dream any dream. You can savor every situation. Life in there's a sensational sensation. If you want to see magic lands, close your eyes and you will see one. Want to be a dreamer, be one. Anytime you please, and please save me one. There is no place to go to compare with your imagination. So go there to be free if you truly wish to be.
Thank you both. Hi, everyone. I'm Reverend Allie Jablonski, our summer minister, and I'm up here unscheduled to deliver very sad news that our Reverend George Whitehouse passed away last night. George died peacefully in his sleep. His beloved Gaby, our beloved Gaby, is with her children and is being held by Reverend John Gibbons and Reverend Parisa. When Reverend John called me this morning, he said, I think we need to let the congregation know that a pillar in our community has died. And I said, the biggest pillar. Yes, John said, the biggest pillar. It would take more time than the length of our service to talk about Reverend George's impact within our Arlington Street walls, let alone beyond it. So here is my best attempt at the Cliff Notes version, knowing that we will plan a service to honor the fullness of his legacy. But until then, George came here as a child, sent here because of his questioning. George grew up here, singing in our choir, serving on countless committees, serving as our community minister, and even being our own Quasimodo, climbing up our bell tower and fixing our church bells in secret in the middle of the night. The courageous, mischievous, loving spirit that restored our bells was at the core of so much of what Reverend George did. George worked tirelessly in his ministry. We might first remember him speaking up in meetings or yelling from the pews or the streets. But the undercurrent of George's ministry was accompanying people. George has been in many of our homes or beside our hospital beds, and many of us have been in George and Gaby's home. He has helped us out of painful situations and stayed beside us through the storms, no matter how intense the weather got. He has pushed us and teased us, and he has loved us powerfully. George, our beloved great pillar and loyal spiritual companion, we love you. Gaby, we love you. And I love each and every one of you. May we hold each other as we grieve. May we love each other powerfully as we do here and as we honor George's legacy. George and Gaby joined our choir to bless us with the old Irish blessing at the close of each church year. As Hyungju and Daniel lead us in this song, I invite you to rest, to sing, and to think of George. And after the service, after the postlude, Bill and Roger will be ringing our bells in honor of George. Thank you so much. George Whitehouse Presente.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, and until we meet again, may God hold you, may God hold you, may God hold you in the palm of their hand.
Thank you, Reverend Allie. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Young. Beautiful. Hello again, and happy Sunday. Welcome to our Zoomers, and welcome to the congregation gathered in person. I'm Kel Alford, student minister here at Arlington Street Church. Reverend Parisa is on summer sabbatical, as our director of music, Mark David Buckles, and the Arlington Street Church Choir. Rebecca Parkhill and I are joined by Youngju Young and Daniel Rosenzweig. Thank you, friends. And a very special thank you to all our volunteers here in the sanctuary today, tech team, greeters, and ushers. If you're new, we're glad you're here. If you'd like to know more about Arlington Street, please visit our new website, arlingtonstreet.org. There's a link there. You can sign up for our weekly newsletter called The Latest from Arlington Street, which will resume this fall. Whether you've been coming here for years or today is your first time at Arlington Street, welcome home.
Good morning. A warm welcome to this morning's preacher, Kel Alford. Kel is a third-year Master of Divinity candidate at Boston University and has had the privilege of serving as student minister at the Arlington Street Church for the past 2 years. Before returning to graduate school, Kel worked as a creative entrepreneur, pattern maker, and graphic designer, fostering creative expression in every facet of life, believing deeply in the power of art, design, and commerce to make the world a more beautiful, humane, and meaning-filled place. Kel has made a lifelong commitment to integrating the arts into everyday life and understands the uplifting power of the arts and arts education to infuse all we do with meaning, purpose, and possibility. Post-graduation, Kel hopes to weave together her reverence for creativity as a spiritual practice with her longing to be of service and create a tapestry of community, art, healing, and wholeness. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on the homepage at arlingtonstreet.org. For our guests here in the sanctuary, there are printed copies at the great doors. It's a hot summer here in Boston, and those of us in person are experiencing that we don't have air conditioning. There's water in the back, and please help yourself at any time during the service. And if you need any help at all, our ushers are here to support you. Let's do all that we can to take care of each other. If you'd like more Arlington Street Church in your week, please go to arlingtonstreet.org. There are weekly gatherings in the Zoom room for loving kindness, meditation, poetry, and yoga. Please join the ASC Zoom room for tea with the ministers each Wednesday at 5 p.m. Bring your tea or your favorite beverage and be together in community. All are welcome. Next Sunday's preachers are Alan Kemp and Daryl Waters. Alan Kemp is a longtime member of Arlington Street, where he just finished his term as chair of our Prudential Committee. He also serves on our Finance Committee as well as on the board of Chroma. Alan is a retired physician and a lifelong aficionado of language, who was reminded of the value of poetry during the great pause of the pandemic. Daryl Waters is also a longtime member, where he currently serves as chair of the worship team, as well as serving on the HR, nominating, and landscape committees. He's just returned to the Prudential Committee for a second term, where he is past chair. He continues to volunteer as a tour guide at our Tiffany Windows Education Center. Alan and Daryl are the co-hosts of our Poetry to Go On group, which meets every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. in the church Zoom room. More information and Zoom and links are at arlingtonstreet.org. To attend any of them, you don't have to be a member, you don't have to turn on your video or talk if you don't want to, and they're all free. All are welcome. Following the service, everyone is welcome to join the virtual coffee hour. If you'd like to participate, please answer yes to the breakout room, and that will appear, the breakout room invitation, that will appear on your screen. And if you're here in the sanctuary, you'll need to go to the Zoom room before the Postlude begins. Thanks to all of you who joined in today's service and to all who made it possible. Remember, we're all in this together. As we begin our greetings, I invite the Zoomers and those here in the sanctuary with a device handy to please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're zooming in from. And now Keith is going to turn the camera on the in-person congregation as we wave and smile at each other, as well as at our friends in the Zoom room. And you all in the Zoom room can wave and smile back. Hello, friends. Let's all engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart. Our opening hymn this morning is number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. We'll be singing verses 1 and 4. The words can be found in the order of service, in the chat, and in the gray hymnal. Let's rise now in body, rise in spirit, and sing together, We Laugh, We Cry.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive, and we believe that sharing is an answer. We we seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a joy being together. And in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see, even to question truly is an answer. Open our hearts to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Saturday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please type it into the chat. Zoomers are invited to light silent candles at home. Those in the sanctuary are invited to light a silent candle at the table up front to the right of the releasing podium. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious this beloved community is. We need one another. Whether together or apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A mixed candle from Fran Peterson. To our LGBTQ+ brothers and sisters, we love you, we stand with you. Every time this or any administration attempts to dehumanize or erase you, we will rise up and speak out. Love is love is love. Our final candle of sorrow today is from the Arlington Street Church for the people who continue to suffer in the ongoing wars in our world. May people know protection, comfort, strength, and peace. And may our leaders know wisdom to bring about an end to these conflicts.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving,
Some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
A candle of joy from the Arlington Street Church. A candle of huge appreciation to Frank Lee for his donation of time and funds and skill for our new website. Thank you for your huge generosity. And our final candle of joy today is from the Arlington Street Church. Thanks to all those who came to and participated in the summer services. The services have been filled with wisdom and joy and love. It is good to be together in person and on Zoom, and we are so grateful for one another.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another. The next hymn is number 1051, We Are. The words can be found in the order of service, in the chat, and in the teal hymnal. Let's now rise in body, rise in spirit, and sing together, We Are.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
As some of you know, and as Rebecca mentioned when she read my bio, before my later in life return to divinity school, the call that has led me straight into the mysterious discernment of a new vocation and thankfully, blessedly, into the bosom of Arlington Street Church, I was a working artist. Day in and day out, for the better part of 4 decades, I wandered into the emotional wilderness with my beloved clients, outfitted with my creative toolbox of words, pictures, and colors to help them identify and express their most authentic core values and desires. I was a designer of colors and patterns and a crafter of brand identities planted firmly, or at least I thought I was planted firmly, at the intersection of art, creativity, meaning-making, and belonging. My work was creative, collaborative, exhilarating, and purposeful, and it felt like a calling for me, my true vocation, until it didn't. It was the forced deceleration I experienced during the pandemic, I think, my loss of that massive centrifugal force of busyness that kept me pinned to the walls. That relentless pressure lightened when I found my frenetic work pace slowing down. And something I'd been missing came into focus. That the art I was making and the creativity I was practicing was in service of meaning-making and belonging for others, for my beloved clients who were doing essentially important work, but alas, not for myself. Though I'd been making art and practicing creativity for a long, long time, I felt a distinct emptiness of meaning when the busyness of my days subsided. I felt alienated from myself, from my work, and from my world. It was a wildly disorienting time of awakening to a darkness that I hadn't known was there. It's been a few years now since the confidence and certainty begotten of my career in the arts began to unravel. And I can see as I've journeyed through the last few years of divinity school that I'm still drawn forth by a hunger for belonging and a longing to feel reconnected to myself and to the world in a way that will light my way and satisfy this ravenousness of separation. The separation of these years has kept me questing for a revitalized sense of belonging, and I've been inadvertently drawn back to simple practices of creativity that set the stage for reflection, self-care, and the possibility for change. Like lighting candles to journal by, cooking good food for a loved one, helping a friend design a hands-off my democracy poster, or handwriting thank you note and posting it in the mail. Simple practices of creativity are everywhere to harvest and make our own. We are all artists. And when I say this, I decidedly do not mean that we are all painters or sculptors or songwriters or graphic designers. No, we may only know ourselves more simply as parents or plumbers, farmers or financiers, teachers or traffic engineers, diplomats or doctors, lawyers or librarians. And yet we all contain hidden treasure waiting to be mined, and we experience confusing darkness waiting for a glint of light that will blast the darkness into a rainbow of color. Honestly, let me say that when I hear the words, "Oh, I'm not an artist," I can feel myself rising up like an evangelical for creativity because of my own experience of finding my way back to modest, simple, everyday creative practices. It's been healing in a way that I'm still working to understand. I suspect that there's a mysterious reciprocal relationship between the practice of creativity and a sense of belonging, and this is the holy conversation I want to explore together today. In her beautiful book, Big Magic, subtitled Creative Living Beyond Fear, Elizabeth Gilbert tells a story I adore about the Australian writer, poet, and critic Clive James. At the height of his career, James wrote a play for the London stage that unexpectedly, and to everyone's surprise, was a complete flop. The critics panned it, and the production closed early. The fiasco ruined his family financially and cost him a few dear friends. The whole experience left him humiliated, discouraged, and depressed, so much so that he went into a desultory depression and stopped writing and working altogether. Weeks passed, then months. The failure seemed to have dried up and hollowed out his spirit. Until one day, his young daughters asked for a mundane favor. They asked if he could spruce up their secondhand bicycles to make them look better. He dutifully, though not joyfully, obeyed. He hauled himself up out of his funk, dusted off an old can of bright red paint, thinking it might be a quick and easy chore, just a coat of red paint and done. Once he started, however, something shifted, and after the red paint dried, he added some detailed flourishes. He frosted the spokes silver, striped the seat posts to look like barber poles, and then, by some mystical, magical force, the momentum continued to build. Gilbert writes, "When the paint dried, he began to add hundreds of tiny silver and gold stars, a field of exquisitely detailed constellations all over the bicycles. The girls grew impatient for him to finish, but James found that he could simply not stop painting stars. 4-pointed stars, 6-pointed stars, and the very rare 8-pointed stars with peripheral dots. It was incredibly satisfying work. Eventually, the girls rode away, giddy and in love with their sweet bicycle makeovers." And then Gilbert continues, "The next day, his daughters brought home another girl from the neighborhood who asked if Mr. James might please paint stars on her bicycle too. He did it. He trusted in the request. He followed the clue. And when that was done, another child showed up, and another and another. Soon there was a line of children, all waiting for their humble bicycles to be transformed into stellar objets d'art. And so it came to pass that one of the most important writers of his generation spent several weeks sitting in his driveway, painting thousands and thousands of tiny stars on bicycles for every child in the area." Clive James had fallen from the height of success through failure into despair, and the simple act of saying yes to this chore for his daughters brought him out of the darkness and into the light of day in his driveway, back to motion, back to life, back to freedom, back to healing, back to himself, back to work. And as he did so, he came to the slow discovery that failure has a function. Failure asks you if you really want to go on making things. And to his surprise, James realized that the answer for him was yes. Gilbert goes on with the story. When the last bike had been decorated and every star in James' galaxy had been painted, he thought to himself, I will write about this one day. And in that moment, he was transformed. He was free. Failure had departed, and the Creator had returned. Clive James tricked his way out of what Gilbert calls the hell of inertia, straight back into the big magic of creativity. In that driveway, amid the spokes and the seat posts and the thousand silver and gold stars, something came back to life. Something was healed. Saying yes to something he was neither trained for nor had ever been praised for, Clive James found his way back to himself. And eventually he found his way back to the word, back to the page, and back to the stage. The bicycle painting work that had begun as a dutiful fatherly chore and progressed through an unexpected and irresistible pleasure crescendoed in kind of a vital, euphoric joy and returned Clive James to a sense of belonging again. Essentially, though, the post-bike painting star-flourishing Clive James was no longer the same Clive James that had recently bombed on the London stage. No, the man coaxing stars onto children's secondhand bicycles in his driveway and delighting his daughters and their friends was a different man now. He had been changed by his journey from darkness of housebound despair to the light of the driveway. He was a new Clive James, surprised and humbled and delighted by his unexpected encounter with creativity that flowed after he said yes to his daughters. Clive James himself had been created anew by the act of creativity. Our modern usage of the word creativity is quite young, dating only from 1850, and first referred to as creativeness. But the roots of both creativity and of creation are, of course, our English word create, which has ancient roots like many English words in Latin. The Latin words creatus and creare, meaning to make grow, to bring forth, to produce, to procreate, to beget. It's a verb of birthing and transformation. And after Clive James' encounter with creativity, he was transformed by the experience and delivered into a new kind of belonging with himself, with his daughters, with his village, and with his work. His encounter with creativity was a path back to belonging to this world. This, I suspect, is also what I was looking for in my graphic design practice and not quite finding until I left my first supposed vocation in search of a new one. I was looking for a revived sense of assuredness of my belonging to the world. I love Clive James' story for many reasons. Its old-fashioned, duty-bound Englishness, the sweet, unexpected relentlessness of the stars, and the quiet, unassuming faithfulness with which James' family accompanies him through his darkness. There's a lot to love, but what I love most about this story is the hidden trail map it provides for all of us back to the light of belonging. And we will be looking for that when we too, and we will, find ourselves enveloped in darkness following a pandemic-induced isolation or a rejection or a separation or a failure or an illness or a death or a fall from grace. Even though Elizabeth Gilbert calls what happened big magic, I see a hidden thread here that we can hold and follow. Clive James' darkness was lifted not by a lightning bolt of inspiration or a big infusion of cash or an unexpected job offer. Clive James returned to himself and to the light and to a sense of belonging to the world, first by saying yes to his daughters and beginning. Second, by working with what he had, what was just in front of him. Third, by quietly following his instincts. And fourth, by getting out of his own way so he could be of service. Saying yes and beginning, working just with what we have, with what's in front of us, following our instincts, and losing ourselves to be of service. This hidden thread, I think, is the hidden intertwined DNA helix of creativity. Dear spiritual companions, let's take with us today the deep knowing that we belong to the world. Like the poem says, we do, and we have to deal with that. We belong to the world, to creation, and creation belongs to us. The urge to create and creativity is our birthright, it's our nature, and it's our mother tongue. We belong to creation, and every moment have the ability, metaphorically and literally, to call forth light from the darkness, plant seeds that will bear fruit, and paint stars that will brighten the lives of loved ones. All of this so we can free ourselves from whatever is keeping us down and keeping us bound. This is the practice of creativity. This is what it means to live a creative life, whatever our profession or vocation. When we practice creativity, by saying yes and beginning, by working with what's in front of us, by following our instincts, and by getting out of our own way to be of service, we are saying yes to belonging. Yes to the fact that we are part of creation, something we may forget but is forever real. We are part of something older, larger, and more wondrous than just ourselves. And in our culture that often rewards detachment and consumption over connection and creation, practicing creativity can be the way we remember the truth that we belong to creation and we have never stopped belonging. Let's hold that close and let's practice it often so that when the darkness arrives again, we'll know what to do. Amen.
Close your eyes and clone yourself. Build yours heart an army to defend your innocence while you do everything anything wrong. Don't be scared to walk alone. Don't be scared to like it. 'Cause there's no time that you must be home. So sleep where darkness falls. Alive in the age of worry. Smile in the age of worry. Go out in the age of worry and say, worry, why should I care? Know your fight is not with them. Yours is with your time here. So dream your dreams, but don't pretend. Make friends with what you are. Give your heart and change your mind. You're allowed to do it, 'cause God knows it's been done to you, and somehow you got through it. Alive in the age of worry. Smile in the age of worry. Go wild in the age of worry and say, worry, why should I care? Ooh, rage in the age of worry. Act your rage in the age of worry and say, worry, get out of here. Yeah. Gotta get out of here. Yeah. Gotta get out. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Thank you, Daniel and Youngju. Arlington Street is entirely self-sustaining. It's up to us. And our generosity continues to be astounding. Thank you for your commitment to our staff, our building, and our beloved spiritual community. Each Sunday, we share our collection plate with a partner in our mission of love, service, justice, and peace. During the summer months, our Share the Plate offerings are saved for use for future emergencies and to help in rescue and rebuilding efforts following natural and unnatural disasters, amplifying our impact around the world. This morning, I'd like to share a poem by Unitarian Universalist poet May Sarton. It's called Summer Music. Summer is all a green air. From the brilliant lawn, sopranos through murmuring hedges, accompanied by some poplars. In fields of wheat, surprises. Through faraway pastures flows to the horizon's blues in slow decrescendos. Summer is all a green sound, rippling in the foreground to that soft applause, the foam of Queen Anne's lace. Green, green in the ear is all we care to hear, until a field suddenly flashes, the singing with so sharp a yellow that it crashes loud cymbals in the ear. Minor has turned to major, as summer, lulling and so mild, goes golden buttercup wild. Please take a moment now to join me in giving to sustain our beloved Arlington Street Church. You can give online at arlingtonstreet.org or check the order of service for instructions for how to give via QR code, Venmo, or text message. You can also mail a check to the church or use the envelopes in the pews, which can be given to the ushers as they come through momentarily with collection plates. Thank you for your generosity. Our final hymn is number 304, A Fierce Unrest, which can be found in the order of service, in the chat, and in the gray hymnal. Let's rise now in body, rise in spirit, and sing together A Fierce Unrest.
Fierce unrest seethes at the core of all existing things. It was the eager wish to soar that gave the gods their wings. There throbs through all the worlds that are this heartbeat hot and strong, and shaken systems star by star awake and glow in song. But for the urge of this unrest, these joyous fears are mute. But for the rebel in our breast, had we remained as brutes, when baffled lips demanded speech, speech trembled into birth. One day the lyric word shall reach from earth to laughing earth, from deed to dream, from dream to deed, from daring hope to hope. The restless wish, the instant need still drove us up the slope. Sing we no governed firmament, cold ordered regular. We sing the stinging discontent that leaps from from star to star.
Before our benediction, I invite those of you in the Zoom room to please reach out your hands and touch the side of your square. And those of you in the sanctuary, to please raise your hands, palms out. Let's send loving kindness to the people on either side of you and to the people on either side of them. And send out love into this beloved spiritual community and feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for the benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart or in namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Dear ones, as we prepare ourselves to leave here today, let's go provisioned with the deep knowing that we belong to the world. We are part of creation itself and part of the sacred reciprocity of creativity and belonging. Lest we forget the terra firma of this beautiful truth, let's practice some creativity to find our way back home to belonging by saying yes and beginning, by working with what we have just in front of us, by trusting our instincts, and by losing ourselves in service to others. May we be blessed with the practice of creativity so that we may find our way back to ourselves, to one another, and to the world. May it be so, and may we make it so. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people, your people are mine. Your people are my people, your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people, your people are mine. Your people are my people, your divine, my divine.
We are located at the corner of Arlington and Boylston Streets, across from the Public Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.